and welcome to Something Witchy, a Sabrina the Teenage Witch rewatch podcast. I'm Lara Cotter.
And I'm Sky Richard.
And we are friends with Curtis Anderson now.
Thanks, Curtis.
I slid into those DMs at 9 p.m. the night before April Fool's Day. And that man delivered. And he was so sweet. He was like, I don't think I can get Nate at this last minute, but is that okay? I was like, no, you're fine. Like, you are enough as just you. It's okay. I want you to feel like you were enough for us, Curtis.
Do we need to send him a thank you sticker without requesting a toilet roll paper back?
Is it weird to ask his address?
Maybe they have like a P.O. box or something.
Okay, I'll ask that. I'll ask if there's like a P.O. box because like we want to send him a little thank you. So I'll ask him that. So yeah, we are now familiar with a member of the Sabrina cast. Next step is going to ask him if he can come on for an interview. And then we're going to ask him about his work in the glory days. I was telling my mom about it and she was like, oh, that's nice, sweetie. Like, she didn't understand. I was like, Mom, this is a big deal for me. Get on board.
Gosh, Pam.
All right. We have a question today. Would we walk a mile in each other's shoes?
Would we?
I would be, I mean, you would be annoyed with the IT mess you came back to once I was done with your life. I wouldn't mind being you for a day-ish.
I think you would at the end of the day. There's some crazy over here. It's just well hidden.
It would make me appreciate you so much more.
You could then go fix your own computer problems afterwards.
Doubtful.
Would walking a mile in your shoes also come with the kidney pain? Like, would we be swapping like kidney pain for like back pain? Like,
I mean,
I'm very
I feel like
curious.
it's a fair swap of ailments. I don't have kidney pain all the time.
Well, can't say that quite about my back. I guess, yeah. Why not?
I mean, it doesn't sound like Hilda and Zelda had to do each other's jobs.
True.
They just took parts of each other's personality. So you would just be more optimistic for a day.
And you would be Grumpy Cat.
You know what? Nothing works better with local politics than pessimism. If you had talked to me 2 Fridays ago, you would have gotten some Sky feelings after a meeting I was in.
Oh, man.
My question is, do we actually have to walk the full mile? Because it seems it's more time-based than distance-based in the show, because I don't think they actually walked a mile.
I mean, I would hope that throughout the course of a couple days, you're walking the span of a mile.
Hilda doesn't leave the house. How's she walking a mile?
Just up and down.
Up and down those stairs repeatedly.
There's apparently multiple staircases, many rooms we have not seen. There's a dungeon.
Wouldn't Zelda have walked the mile if they walked a full golf course filling in holes?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have taken up the mile? So I think it's time-based. I don't think it's actually distance-based. I think it's a metaphorical mile.
How dare they? Make things not make sense? This show? What?
All right. For a couple of days, I will take on Sky's personality. Sure. Season 3, episode 13, What Price Harvey? And this name comes from What Price Glory, which is a 1952 war film based on a 1924 play by Maxwell Anderson and Lawrence Stallings, though it used virtually none of Anderson's dialogue. It was originally a musical, but it was filmed as a straight comedy drama. It's about World War I American soldiers who go to France, and a guy is with a girl, but he doesn't want to marry her, but she wants to get married, so he lies to her. And then another soldier comes and he likes the girl, and so the first soldier gets mad and sends the second soldier to potentially his death on the front lines, but he doesn't die, but he gets injured. I don't know. It has nothing whatsoever to actually do with the theme of this episode.
What? The writers have never done this to us in the past either. Ever.
That's a strange occurrence, which I feel like there's other movies we could have referenced that are about ambition.
The writers, I don't want this to sound mean, but it might sound mean. They show their age a lot. Sometimes referencing these 50s, a lot of like 70s films, like throwback lines, and it's like, let's be real. Sabrina isn't gonna know that stuff. She's a teen in the 90s. She's focused on her time. Maybe some 80s stuff, but like, you gotta stop with these.
It happens a lot in these teen shows. It happens a lot on Boy Meets World too, where it's a bunch of writers in a room who are clearly referencing things that they grew up watching. Although maybe, I don't even know if they would have grown up watching What Price Glory if it came out in the 50s. If we're assuming they're in their 40s, I mean, maybe they'd have to be very young if they're watching it when it first came out. But yeah, it definitely happens. It'd be like if I was writing a television show for today's teens and I kept referencing Sabrina. Yeah, it's weird. I don't get it. Our TV guide description. Hilda and Zelda's zany cousin convinces the sisters to switch personalities and gives Sabrina a cologne to use on Harvey in order to make him more ambitious. In the streaming description, magical ambition shows its dark side when Harvey drops out of school to become an industrial tycoon.
You know, I don't mind TV guide.
I feel like I wouldn't have put the Hilda and Zelda storyline first. I feel like if we just flipped the sentence, maybe because I feel like the Sabrina is the more prominent one, but at least it references the subplot. It originally aired January 15th, 1999. We have Gary Halvorson returning as our director and Frank Conniff returning as our writer. Guest stars, to start it off, the fabulous Sheryl Lee Ralph as Zsa Zsa Guwigi. You probably know her from Abbott Elementary, which is, I think, the funniest show on television currently. I just watched their April Fool's episode. It was delightful.
I'm behind like 4 episodes.
Ugh, I love it. I love that. Like, it's funny, but it's also like, I love that we're getting shows now that have heart in them and aren't just cynical and angry because that's our world. And I want my entertainment to be a little bit lighter than that. Yes, Abbott Elementary, Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit, Instant Mom, Moesha, and Designing Women. William Dennis Hunt is Boris Lermontov from Grace and Frankie, Modern Family, and NYPD Blue. Karen Lynn Scott is Trixie from Martin, You Wish, Step by Step, and Boy Meets World. Brian Smith as the Flunky, which this is his only credit. Michael McClure as Prince Albert from The King of Queens, Dream On, Action, and VIP. I don't know what any of those things are, but he didn't have a lot of credits, so that's what I had to choose from.
You don't know what the King of Queens
No,
is?
No. Sorry, I know what that one is.
Okay,
the other three,
I was like,
I don't know.
Whoa.
Sometimes I wish I didn't know, to be honest.
I mean, touche.
Speaking of outdated sitcoms, I am so glad we don't get those anymore. Lastly, we have Frank Conniff as our uncredited tobacconist. Did you recognize him when he came on the screen? Did you see Rudy?
Did not recognize him, but I was also like, this guy looks familiar. But I did not think to like scroll up to see, you know, the work you did of putting who the cast is.
It's okay. Don't look at my work. Private. Private work.
I just like to plagiarize. What can I say?
All right. What are your overall thoughts on this one, Sky?
I liked Nate's acting.
Yes, always.
It was great. I loved having Sheryl on this. The Ants plotline could take or leave it, honestly. And like, once again, Sabrina, we're trying to change someone, and then we find out, oh, we shouldn't change them. Shocker. The end.
Yeah.
It's mid, like, there's been worse episodes, but
oh, yeah.
It wasn't necessarily. Honestly, yeah, the highlights were Sheryl and Nate.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, any episode that has Sheryl Lee Ralph in it of any television show ever is going to overshadow everyone else.
Yeah.
Also, her outfits were amazing in this. I don't think there were any outfits I didn't like, but hers especially she has like that blue dress, the fluffy piece on the top. I was like, yes, that is amazing.
I feel like she had some Vesta flair to her.
Yes.
That side of the family.
100% agreed. I empathize with Sabrina because like that is one of my red flags is a lack of ambition. And not saying ambition has to be like, I'm going to be CEO someday, just like goals in general. While Harvey did have a goal to be a mechanic, I can understand Sabrina's desire to be with somebody who like, yes, I'm a mechanic, but I also went to business school because I'm going to run my own business and I'm going to be a business owner. And like, I understand the finances behind it and I understand the economics of it. Like, I can understand wanting like just that like little step further.
Which had she like phrased it that way, or writers had tried to phrase it that way, I think I would have liked it more. But it became very much this whole mindset that has screwed over many a person of like, you must go to college.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, trades actually.
Yes.
would be better. Like, you go, Harvey, get that money.
All of the TGIF shows had to have this storyline. Like, Boy Meets World had it with Sean. Sean wasn't going to go to college, and everybody freaked out and spent like 4 episodes being like, Sean, you have to go to college. And then he'd be like, yeah, I'm going to go to college. And like 2 episodes later, I'm not going to college. And I'm like, we just did this. We just had this conversation. At no point were there alternative pathways presented. So I do understand where she's coming from. I do agree that like it's something you have to learn and you don't know it as a teenager. Like you can't change a man. The change has to come from within. The desire for growth has to come from within. You can't force it upon people. And maybe let's stop with the mind control. Who have we not mind controlled at this point? I think Mrs. Quick is safe.
Yes.
Well, Hilda messed with Zelda. I don't think Sabrina's messed with Zelda.
Haven't controlled Salem, but I don't think anyone wants to control Salem.
Can you control Salem?
No one wants to know what's in that mind, so...
Okay, so Salem, Zelda, and Mrs. Quick so far, the 3 that are safe. Everybody else has had their brains and their emotions tampered with. I also am ambivalent on the ant storyline. I think it made them more caricatures than people. Because people aren't, no one is 100% one thing or the other. I wish it would be like, yes, Hilda knows how to stop and have fun, but she's also really passionate about her music, so she knows how to buckle down and do it when the time is there. Maybe she pushes it a little bit, but she'll make up the time. And like, yes, Zelda's very passionate about her work, but like, it would have been so much more fun if Zelda had like done a little prank against Zsa Zsa before their personalities got reversed as a like, you thought you knew me. Like, it's making them very black and white, which is not how people are. And this episode just completely pushed it to the limit. Our cold open, Hilda is dancing in the kitchen.
Sabrina says, wow, I don't think I've ever seen you so happy. Salem, me neither, which is a really sad commentary on Hilda's life.
Salem is the reason why Hilda's life is sad. He dragged her down.
Men.
Zelda explained she's excited because cousin Zsa Zsa is coming. Hilda says she's a great practical joker.
If you call putting killer bees in someone's bonnet fun, says Zelda. And you know, whatever happened to those killer bees in 2020?
I think the Forest Service took care of it.
Okay. Thank you, Forest Service. That was like a solid week of like, are they coming? Are they not?
I think the park rangers were more on top of the killer bees than the CDC were on top of COVID.
You just have a Nick Cage character running around the forest. The bees! Taking them out. Quick little correction corner. It was in fact murder hornets, not murder bees. Even more terrifying. And it was the Washington Department of Agriculture who took care of them. So thank you, Washington Department of Agriculture, for taking care of some of the spooky scaries from that time period.
Zelda is not impressed and is busy working on her subatomic microphone. She tells Hilda she should be practicing her violin for an audition, which I'm glad we got a reference back to her music and that she's doing her music again, because we were all a little bit worried about what Hilda's life was like. Zelda opens the fridge and screams, then faints when she sees a large snake. I forgot to text you. I tell you, trigger warning, there's a big snake in this episode.
Yeah, you sure did.
Sorry. I thought about it like 4 times and then I just never did it.
Wow.
Hilda is excited and tells the snake, assuming it's Zsa Zsa, that she can turn back into herself. But Zsa Zsa peeks around the corner. Hilda looks back and forth between her and the snake and then also faints. Our outfit intro is a leprechaun, and she says other leprechauns look up to me, and this absolutely should have been saved for a later episode in the season. Okay.
Leprechauns.
Zsa Zsa has a makeup case out in the living room and is doing Hilda's makeup while Zelda and Sabrina watch. She hands Sabrina the latest product from the other realm, Instant Hobo. And we get no other explanation about what this product is. Why is this the latest from the other realm? Why are people buying this in droves? What does it do to you? We'll never know.
I do like Sabrina's line of, what, when the jar is empty, you can live in it?
Okay. Salem complains about the bags under his eyes and everyone just stares silently at him. Zsa Zsa refuses to sell anything to him. She hands Zelda a makeup case, and when Zelda opens it, a fake snake pops out. An unamused Zelda walks off to go work. Zsa Zsa gives Sabrina some blush to try. Sabrina puts it on and admits it looks nice, but when she closes the case, it puffs on her cheeks and turns purple. Zsa Zsa and Hilda smile at her, then break out laughing after she leaves the house. Harvey notes Sabrina's purple blush and asks if she enrolled in clown college. She looks at the mirror and yells at Zsa Zsa, then blames it on harvest season at her aunt's vineyard. Why not just say, hey, we have a relative visiting us and she likes to play practical jokes?
So that would
Why
be
make up
too
a weird lie
easy.
about a vineyard?
Sabrina's a little pathological.
You can say she swapped out my blush. Or like, I feel like color changing or like UV activated blush would not be like outside the realm of possibility. It was weird that we came up with a vineyard. Sabrina asks Harvey if he's taking any college prep classes, but he's decided he's not going to college since he wants to be a mechanic. Sabrina thinks about this, and we see a daydream. Sabrina walks into a nice house wearing a business skirt suit. Harvey is sitting on a chair in grease-covered overalls and yelling at racing on the TV. He greets Sabrina and asks if she saw the new car. She remarks that it looks like it's up on new blocks, too. He gives her a hug and gets grease all over her outfit. Back in the real world, the bell rings and Harvey goes to class, with Sabrina yelling after him about college. Salem is rummaging through Zsa Zsa's makeup case and finds concealer.
The concealer, at last. That cherry lipstick looks delicious. No. Beautify now, eat later.
And I did see that on the concealer tub, it does say blind ambition. Which begs the question, if Salem puts that all over his whole body, why does he turn invisible and not gain ambition like Harvey does?
Because this is a concealer, not a cologne or other smelly products. I don't know.
Okay, I will accept it. Sabrina is pacing the living room, telling the aunts that Harvey isn't going to college. Hilda points out that she didn't go to college. Sabrina says Harvey is doomed and stomps upstairs. Zelda can't understand what it would be like to have no drive and turns to Hilda, saying, "That's not a bad thing." Hilda can't understand what it would be like to never have fun. They start arguing when Zsa Zsa comes in and offers them walk-a-mile moccasins.
Hilda asks, can't we just have extensive family therapy? Which you should also probably do, Hilda. It should probably not be one or the other. Like, both is good.
Can you imagine those family therapy sessions with 600 years of family history to work through? Like, how do you pick where to start?
In the beginning.
They're going to be in therapy for 300 years.
I mean, if they live that long, they might as well use part of it to edify themselves.
Zsa Zsa explains they both buy a pair of moccasins and switch, and it will help them understand each other better. They agree and take the shoes, then swap pairs. The side door, which I don't think we've seen open before. We've seen it there, but I don't think I've ever seen this one open. The side door opens by itself, and we hear Salem ask if there are still bags under his eyes. An indentation appears where he's sitting on a pillow. They realize he's invisible. He used too much concealer. Salem sobs, and Zelda pats him.
I admittedly didn't notice the side door at first and just saw, like, what seemed like the pillow moving, and I was like, he was turned into the pillow? I thought they were going, like, full animated pillow, not invisible cat route.
That's if you over-apply the pillow lips lip gloss. Turn into a pillow. Sabrina is in her room during work when Zsa Zsa comes in. She offers Sabrina some ambition cologne to use on Harvey. Sabrina sniffs it and notes it smells musky. Zsa Zsa points out that ambition is 99% perspiration. Sabrina says to put it on her aunt's tab. We get a line in here. Zsa Zsa says, "A little dab and your man will be more ambitious than the entire William Morris mailroom put together." Sky and I did not know what this means. It refers to the William Morris Agency training program. William Morris Agency is a Hollywood-based talent agency. They have this training program, often referred to as the mailroom, that was established in the 40s and is well known for its roster of successful alumni. And since the 70s, it's been replicated at other talent agencies and studios, many of which were headed by former mailroom trainees. And there's a 2003 book that came out called The Mailroom, Hollywood History from the Bottom Up, which at first is what I thought Sabrina was referencing, and then realized she could not be referencing a book that came out in 2003 and an episode that came out in 1999. But maybe this is where the guy got the idea for the book from. Harvey walks into school talking about fixing a car with a friend.
Man, this East German transmission is driving me crazy. I figure it's either a valve or they're plotting to take over the world again. I'm just proud Harvey knows his history.
Right? I also like how we say East German. And there's not been an East Germany for a decade at this point. Over a decade. So he knows some history.
There's also not an East Germany when there was the whole, World War II, but you do you, Harvey.
That's true. Maybe he's like me and he also stopped paying attention in AP US history after World War II. Although how would we know about East Germany? I don't know. Oh, I guess East Germany was started right after World War II. So as long as he paid attention up to the end, then we're good. Okay, that's what I did. Sabrina catches up to him and gives him the cologne as a present. He puts it on but is disgusted by the smell. Magic pings, and he says he's going to actually overhaul the whole engine on the car. Sabrina yells after him that he's going to use the car to drive to a college recruitment center, right? And then she figures a little dab didn't work. Because yes, Sabrina, if there's one thing we've learned about magic, if a little bit doesn't work, definitely do a lot. Nothing bad will happen. Zelda and Hilda have been wearing their moccasins for a while and don't feel any different. But Zsa Zsa comes in and asks Hilda to fill in the holes on the golf course. Hilda declines because she has to practice her violin. Zelda starts to decline, but then decides it sounds like fun. Sabrina tries to sneakily put more cologne on Harvey at lunch and ends up spilling a bunch on him. Harvey yells about the smell and runs out to bathe and take the practice SAT test. Sabrina smiles, happy with herself. Zelda and Zsa Zsa are prank calling someone, asking if they have Prince Albert in a can. The store owner says no, but Zsa Zsa zaps a can into the store that has a tiny prince inside it. The shopkeeper, disturbed, slowly puts the lid back on.
I like the transcript where it says the shopkeeper replaces the lid and wonders about that exotic tobacco he got from Mexico.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Is your refrigerator running? Tobacco joke. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? Yes, I do, store clerk says. Well, better let him out. Ha 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 ha.
Zelda and Zsa Zsa both laugh. Zsa Zsa reminds her that someone is coming over from the grant committee, but Zelda says she wants to do just one more call. Meanwhile, cans are moving by themselves on the kitchen counter. Not tobacco, fish. Zelda asks if it's Salem. He admits it is him, so Zelda will open cans for him, but Hilda comes in and points out that he might be invisible, but the cans aren't, and tells him to put them away. She then tells Zelda to get back to her research. Zsa Zsa tells Hilda that her nose is running and zaps it, so the nose is running on the table.
I'm just glad I don't play a wind instrument, says Hilda.
Fair. Sabrina and Harvey finish a test. Sabrina asks how he thinks he did, but he ignored the test and spent the time drawing the race car he's going to build.
It's completely aerodynamic and it has 17 cup holders.
I can't imagine that many cup holders wouldn't interfere with the aerodynamics of the car. Even though they're interior, you're going to have to build space for them internally. I feel like there would be things being built that you wouldn't necessarily need to build, and then it would make it bigger. Anyway, Sabrina is upset with Zsa Zsa. Zsa Zsa is spraying perfume on herself when Sabrina comes in to confront her. Zsa Zsa tells her Harvey's ambition needs to expand and he might need more than the cologne. Sabrina says she's not buying anything else. Zsa Zsa then talks about her other clients, Bill Gates and Michael Eisner. Sabrina decides to take the whole line of Ambition products. She even gets a free tote bag because she spent $40. And she seems really concerned about this $40. And I was like, even in 1999, $40 for an entire line of products is not a high price. I was just like, if she had said like $100 or $200, I've been like, yeah, that's high end. So I don't know why she's acting like she's bankrupting her aunts by spending $40.
Plus, they paid off their mortgage. Like, they're rolling in the dough. That in their bonds? Like,
yeah, they're fine. Sabrina takes the bag upstairs, and Zsa Zsa goes back to spraying herself with her reverse psychology perfume. Do you think the perfume's actually reverse psychology, or do you think that was just a turn of phrase she was using? Do you think it just helps land the reverse psychology a little bit harder?
Yeah, because I think you have to have some natural finesse that can't just be manufactured. You have to have some manipulation within you.
Which we know Zsa Zsa has. Sabrina puts the bag of products on her bed, noting how heavy it was. An invisible Salem sneaks out laughing. Sabrina looks at the products and knows Harvey will never put them on willingly. We got a montage, and there's a song playing that has some interesting lyrics. But when I put the lyrics into Google to search for what song it was, I just got results for YouTube videos of sermons.
I didn't get lyrics at all.
You didn't get lyrics at all?
I just got rock music.
Okay, I have no idea what it was originally supposed to be, if it's supposed to be anything. Some of the lyrics were, "We refuse to rid ourselves, spiritualize your commercial eyes, we don't believe in hell." It's not a song that I could find.
That's crazy.
I may try pulling out the DVD and seeing if there's something different on the DVD. Okay, our montage. Sabrina covers her eyes as she peeks through the bathroom window and zaps the Ambition bar of soap into Harvey's shower. He starts washing with it and grimaces at the scent. Sabrina meets Harvey at school and sprays something on him with a joke flower. Zsa Zsa and Zelda zap cockroaches into Hilda's music as she's practicing her violin. Was it just me, or did that music seem not orchestra level violin music?
No, it seemed like Primer 3 violin. I
was like, maybe this is just fun music, but it didn't seem right. Sabrina sprays Harvey with a bug sprayer. Zelda is using her microscope and comes away with a black ring around her eye as Zsa Zsa watches. Sabrina pours shampoo on Harvey's head by attaching it to a mop and sticking it through the bathroom window. Harvey is disgusted by the smell. And my note was I really like Zsa Zsa's blue dress. Sabrina sneaks up behind Harvey at his locker, spraying him with more ambition. He tells her he's doing everything to reach his full potential. She asks if he's starting by cleaning out his locker, but he says he's dropping out of school.
Little poster watch. We have No Dream Too Extreme, astronaut in space poster right next to Harvey in his locker, which I'd say is appropriate placement by the props department, given his goals.
Good job, props department, even though you got rid of the lobster evidence. Still sad about that. Sabrina chases after Harvey to ask why he's dropping out of school. He's buying a garage, and Sabrina is upset. The man from the grant committee arrives at the house to meet with Zelda. Hilda talks up how hardworking Zelda is. Zelda comes in with Zsa Zsa, laughing hysterically, both with circles around their eyes. Zelda asks the man to take a seat, while Zsa Zsa zaps the chair away, causing him to fall. He searches for his glasses, and Hilda finds them, handing them back to him. Hilda glares at Zelda. The man angrily asks Zelda about her research, and she tells him about the Wedgie project, zapping him so his underwear rides up. Is he from the other realm?
I don't think so. I think they are just that blatant about magic. Like, why not?
All right, cool. Sabrina is complaining to Zsa Zsa about the ambition and asks how to reverse it. Zsa Zsa says you can't and asks Sabrina if she just used a little. The doorbell rings and Harvey is there in a suit. He talks about how he was day trading and now has $11 million.
Instead of going to the bank for a loan, I got onto the internet and used my savings to buy yen, which I converted into German marks, and then put the whole thing on pork bellies. And when I left home, I was up $11 million. Of course, it's all on paper.
I liked how he said, I got onto the internet.
Yes. The internet. And I was like, ooh, dangerous thing, Harvey. Back away from the internet.
I want to talk about that whenever I talk about my dad. I'm like, well, I got onto the internet and then I went to SharePoint and then I threw my computer out the window. Sabrina is excited. Imagine the college he can afford. He agrees. Maybe he'll buy one. Hilda is trying to restring her violin as invisible Salem plays with the strings. Frustrated, Hilda grabs him and wraps him in bandages.
Hilda says, God bless Claude Rains, while bandaging Salem, which Claude was a British actor who in 1933 starred in The Invisible Man, which kicked off his large prominent career in American film. And Salem has on even the little sunglasses that the Invisible Man has on in that film.
Zelda comes in and says she didn't get the grant. Hilda hopes this teaches Zelda to act more responsibly. Zelda sighs and agrees, but runs to hide when she hears Zsa Zsa say, ready or not, here I come. Harvey walks into school with an entourage of what looks like all high school kids, and then I was like, they're probably unpaid interns because that would be the most evil thing to do. Sabrina tries to talk to him, but is stopped by one of the men. Harvey says he can talk for 30 seconds. He's there to see how much it would cost to knock down the whole block to build his headquarters. Sabrina points out there's also an orphanage and retirement home on the block. How big is that block? I know we have some pretty big blocks. We have the biggest blocks in the nation in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, we're special.
I don't think any one of our high schools is on a partial block.
Maybe it's a really tiny orphanage.
Maybe it's like the top floor is the orphanage. The bottom floor is the nursing home.
They have to live together, yeah. Circle of life, kids.
Harvey doesn't see the problem and tells Sabrina to drop out of school since he can support both of them. She can be a trophy wife. Sabrina paces and tells Bandage Salem about how ambitious and aggressive Harvey has become.
Dope fiend, degenerate gambler, petty thief. Sabrina says, an aggressive, ambitious multimillionaire. Salem says, how awful. Will you tell Harvey I always liked him?
Sabrina has to show him he's going down the wrong path. Salem tells her to cast a prognosis hypnosis spell, which will show him what will happen if he keeps down this path. Which, there's no hypnosis used in the spell, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, but it rhymes.
But when they call it a Christmas Carol spell, go Christmas Carol him.
That doesn't rhyme. Plus, Christmas was 2 weeks ago.
But we all know that's what the spell is. Except we only get the Ghost of Christmas Future. Sabrina thanks Salem and asks if there's anything she can do for him. He sarcastically says no, and Sabrina leaves. Salem sobs.
Curse my sarcastic nature. Sob. We also see that the cauldron on Sabrina's desk has gone invisible because it's not there at all this episode, even though we see her desk quite a bit.
And the, cake sandwich thingy is back, but it's taller. Ghostly Sabrina appears in Harvey's bedroom that night. She's there to show him his future.
Harvey says, no more lobster and chocolate cake before bed.
Now I want some chocolate cake.
You want some lobster with it?
No, I'm good. Not big on the shellfish. She zaps them into a nice house with a woman reading to 2 kids. That's Trixie, Harvey's third wife. Harvey, now with a mustache, and looking quite a bit like Martin Mull with that mustache, walks in and greets everyone, giving them each a pat on the head. You know what would have been funny? Is if Mr. Kraft was in this episode and was like egging Harvey on and was like, yes, of course we'll tear down the school. Thank you for your money. Yes, I hate those orphans and those old folks. And he would have been like, wow, I've never believed in you before, Kinkle, but now I do.
American spirit.
Oh, Mr. Kraft would have loved this Harvey. So mustachioed Harvey walks in and greets everyone, giving them each a pat on the head. He then leaves to go back to the office again. Trixie hurries to talk to him about the kids feeling down lately. They don't feel loved. Harvey says he'll have his secretary write them an affectionate note. Sabrina then zaps them into the high school where everyone is wearing gas masks because of the chemical plant Harvey built on the football field. Next stop is overlooking a dirty, industrialized city, land Harvey has desecrated in the name of corporate profits. Sabrina points out one lone tree, which is the state park he commissioned. Harvey asks why people don't just move to the country. Sabrina says this is the country. Sabrina and Harvey next go to a party, which is Harvey's funeral. Balloons drop from the ceiling. Everyone is glad he's dead. They return to Harvey's bedroom and Sabrina asks how he feels. He feels bad. He regrets the state park the most. He goes back to bed, leaving Sabrina shocked. Sabrina asks Zelda for help, but Zelda is busy melting army men at her laptop. Hilda comes in and just heard on the radio that they're demolishing the school tomorrow to make way for industrialist Harvey Kinkle's chemical plant. Sabrina admits she used Ambition products on Harvey. Sabrina asks Zelda what to do, but she's not paying attention. Hilda says they're going to look at Ambition's ingredients and have a talk with Zsa Zsa. As Sabrina walks out, she turns to look at Zelda and notes that something weird is going on. It took her like 3 days to figure out.
Too concerned about her own life.
At no point did she interact with any of the ants and be like, something weird's here.
Another day in the Spellman household.
I guarantee there was at least one dinner where Sabrina asked Zelda what was for dinner. And Zelda was like, I don't know, chocolate cake.
Lobster.
And then Hilda was like, no, we're having a nutritious and low-calorie chicken dinner or something.
I do like Zelda's line in that scene of very unsafe Private Ryan as she drops an army man into the Bunsen burner.
Hilda and Sabrina confront Zsa Zsa about selling Sabrina blind ambition. Zsa Zsa says that perspective is imported and very expensive. Hilda tells her to get some now. Zsa Zsa zaps a box on the table and Sabrina takes it. It has an eyeball inside. Harvey and his entourage are at the school to break ground, and there's a protest going on.
Flunky says, should we have the bulldozers roll over the protesters, sir? Harvey says, nah, get their names and addresses and remind me to destroy their lives later.
Sabrina shows up with the eyeball and flings it magically onto Harvey's forehead. Magic pings, and he says he doesn't want to tear down the school. The eye shrinks. Also, he wants to give all his money to the orphans and old people. The eye disappears. He needs to get back to working on that engine. He feels like his old self again. Sabrina smiles, but then asks if he had to give away all his money. Harvey's dad thinks he had a manic episode. I love how Harvey's dad rationalizes everything that happens to his child and, like, not once takes him to go see a medical professional.
That would cost money. Although he did give the money to take Harvey to the vet when he was becoming a wolf man. So, vet, okay. True. Medical professional for humans? Nah.
I wonder if he's one of those dads that has, like, dogs and cares more about the dogs than the kids. And so they have, like, some really nice pet insurance.
Maybe.
Is pet insurance a thing in the 90s?
It's a good question.
I'm sure there was something. Harvey asks Sabrina if he can join her SAT prep class. He's going to be the most educated mechanic there is. Sabrina is pleased and sniffs him as he walks past her, but he smells fine. The moccasins disappear off of Zelda's feet as she's about to blow an air horn at Hilda. Hilda is glad. Maybe she'll stop with the pranks. Then her moccasins disappear too. Zelda starts to talk about the lessons she learned, but Hilda interrupts her by blowing the air horn and celebrating that she's back. A depressed Salem asks Sabrina to remove his bandages. She unwraps him, causing him to spin off the desk. He's visible again, but he's also broken every bone in his body and needs the bandages back. In our end tag, which is kind of a long end tag, Sabrina, Zelda, and Hilda walk Zsa Zsa to the linen closet. Sabrina sums up everything that's happened and says it's been a nice visit. Zsa Zsa has one more present for Sabrina, a clue to the family secret. Sabrina opens the box and a fake snake jumps out. She gives a fake smile, but Zelda says the snake is in fact the clue to the family secret. Zsa Zsa leaves, and Zelda is glad that they threw out all the Ambition products. All that was left was a little shampoo. Hilda realizes she used that to wash Salem. Cut to Salem in a business suit, which is the third time we've seen him in this suit. The Dawn episode, the poker episode, and this one. I thought we were going to get one episode with a suit. We've gotten so much use out of this suit. And he's on the phone with someone asking to speak to Trump.
How many times do I have to tell you? Greed is good. Greed clarifies. Greed strengthens. Now get me Trump on the horn pronto. And yikes, if things still aren't relevant to today's world.
I mean, maybe he shouldn't have listened to the Bewitched Cat back in 1999.
Maybe not. Maybe it is Salem's fault that the timeline sucks.
Let's blame everything on Salem. What is your new title for this?
I have some options for you.
Okay.
Instead of What Price Glory, a film that makes no cultural relevance to Sabrina's time, or really the theme, I have two other different movies from the 80s to propose as titles instead.
Okay.
One, 1987, Wall Street.
Yes.
Which is Charlie Sheen, Michael Douglas, Ambition all around. And then also 1987, The Secret of My Success, which is a young Michael J. Fox navigating the corporate life.
I like it. Wolf of Wall Street didn't come out until later, right?
Correct. Much later.
Because if it had, I would have called it Harvey of Wall Street. Or Wolf of Harvey Street. No, Harvey of Wall Street's better.
There's also the 1988 Working Girl. Working Harvey.
Yes. All right. We got a clue to the family secret. What's your thoughts?
I hate snakes, Laura.
Why'd it have to be snakes?
We have Robert E. Lee and we have snakes. Like, really? I hate it. They're all fake like a snake because it rhymes. I literally am about to lose it. Like, if I don't get something good soon, I don't even know.
We have the Spellman thing, the Spellman superhero, the horn, the whip, Robert E. Lee, and the snake. Am I missing one?
The good and bad parts of everyone.
Well, that's a guess.
It sure is. About the only one I have.
You know what? It's closer than you might think.
They're all fake. Is this like Alice in Wonderland? Like, oh, you're just dreaming it. It's all just a dream. You're immortal, just having this crazy dream. And
I'm not saying it's right smack on. I'm saying that you're like within the same galaxy.
Oh, wow. Getting your witch's license is actually when you wake up from your psychotic episode and are just realizing you're a human and you can leave the padded cell now.
There you go. Our next episode, which I'm very excited for, is season 3, episode 14, Mrs. Kraft. Oh, Sky, what do you think this one's about? I know it's hard with that title.
Yeah, I have a sticky note that says Mr. Kraft. Mr. Kraft. Mr. Kraft, wife, has one. So I'm going to say we meet Mr. Kraft's wife. And it's going to cause some trouble because of the whole Zelda, Mr. Kraft, and now his ex-wife is coming into the picture. And it's not going to be pretty. Sabrina's gonna learn a lesson somewhere along the way, too.
We're also gonna learn something very interesting about Mr. Kraft's ex-wife.
Ooh, she a witch. He's immortal.
Maybe. We also have a fun guest star besides her. Please like, share, rate, and subscribe to this podcast. You can email us at somethingwitchypod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at somethingwitchypod, where you'll find fun things like an April Fool's video recorded by Mr. Curtis Anderson. Until next time.
Stay magical.